Hello mummies, I'm Aliza Sarah and it's so good to see you again for another Ask Me Doctor episode, and today we're covering a topic of diets and superstitions. What's really the best way to a smooth pregnancy? Today we have Dr. Victor Chin, Consultant Obstetrician and Gynaecologist at Columbia Asia Hospital Cheras. So Doctor, Motherhood have asked some of our mummies to share their pregnancy myths. Sure. And basically old wives' tales. So now we would like to seek your advice on whether these are true or false, or what is the reality of it as a doctor. So let's start with our first myth. You should eat for two during pregnancy. Would that be true?
So as far as I'm concerned, in pregnancy it's important to maintain a good nutritional intake and normal calorie intake.
Right.
As long as you're maintaining your regular diet, healthy diet, along with proper supplements, that should be fine. That should be enough and sufficient for both mummy and baby.
I see.
So you don't really have to take extra or force yourself to eat much,
right,
to for so-called two.
Yeah, but
one
what
person
would
will be
you
enough.
say in terms of intake? Let's say, does it follow according to the mummy's lifestyle as well? If let's say she wants to go exercise.
Yeah, just light and gentle exercises like brisk walking, some yoga, that should be fine. In terms of diet, just a regular diet, less sugar, high protein, high fiber intake, that would just be sufficient. On top of that, for the first trimester, add on things like folic acid, and you have plenty of supplements that's available in the market that you can do your own survey. You don't really have to force feed. Regular diet, your normal diet should be sufficient.
Well, mummies, you heard it from the doctor himself. Eating for two does not necessarily mean eating twice as much. It's important to focus on quality, not quantity, when it comes to pregnancy nutrition. Eating a variety of nutritional, rich foods can help ensure that both you and your baby are getting the essential vitamins and minerals needed for healthy growth and development of your baby. Our second myth would be all bleeding during the first trimester means a miscarriage. Would that be true?
Okay, it depends on where the bleeding is coming from. So in the female reproductive tract, we have uterus, cervix, and vagina. So if the bleeding is coming out from vagina or the cervix, not necessarily means that you're having a miscarriage.
Right.
Of course, the chances of miscarriage during first trimester is about 20 to 25%, which is quite common. If you have any bleeding, especially if it's fresh red color, you might want to visit to your doctors to get yourself checked.
Will you be able to verify what the common cases of those bleeding to happen when you're in your first trimester?
Like for example, if you have a polyp on the cervix, it can cause bleeding as well. Or if you have a cyst in the vagina, if it ruptures during the pregnancy, it can give out bleeding as well.
I see.
And of course, if you have miscarriage, it can have bleeding. Certain pregnancy conditions such as ectopic pregnancy, it can manifest as early pregnancy bleeding. So it's not necessarily means that you have miscarriage.
I see. Alright, so there you have it, mummies. Bleeding during pregnancy can have lots of different causes. We may not know if they are serious or not, so always call your doctor to be sure and explain any other symptoms along with recent lifestyle changes to help determine the cause. Having said that, being prepared for any potential pregnancy complication is important as it can help to minimize risks and ensure the best possible outcomes for both mother and the baby. Being prepared for any potential pregnancy complications is important as it can help to minimize risks. Is that true?
Yes.
Would you have any tips for the mommies out there on how they can actually elaborate and be prepared to see the doctor before they actually see a doctor because of the bleeding causes?
Well, if you have pain and you have bleeding, you should get to your doctor as soon as possible. But if the bleeding has stopped, sometimes you might have some bleeding in the middle of the night, or probably just brownish discharge. It could be due to infection, it could be due to, possibly miscarriage. You can always contact your doctors the next day to have yourself examined. So don't panic. Just take it easy. Alright,
speaking of this topic, did you know that you can get covered as early as 13 weeks of pregnancy with Prudential's PRUMy Child Plus prenatal protection plan? So I believe that this is a very comprehensive plan where it's for mummies and babies, so you can have a peace of mind throughout your pregnancy and parenting journey.
That's very good. That's a very good plan.
In fact, I was one of the mummies who actually took that plan to give me that sense of relief when it comes to my pregnancy at the time.
Yeah, I guess that's a very good investment.
Alright, so going to our next myth. There are some mummies out there who are always healthy, so they're not worried about their health, but would being healthy guarantee a smooth pregnancy?
It depends on what is your definition for healthy. Some girls, they might have underlying PCOS, or some people might not have had any medical examinations before. So preferably all women that is pregnant, they need to have proper blood tests, physical examination before they call themselves healthy. So how it works is that usually at the very beginning of the pregnancy, we will triage a lady based on their risk factors. For example, age, based on their family history, based on their previous history. We will triage them based on those risk factors and then categorize them based on low risk, medium risk, or high risk pregnancy. So even though if you are healthy, it's always good to see your doctors earlier in the pregnancy stages to have all these things sorted out. And then you can have a better planning for your pregnancy and a smoother pregnancy experience.
It's always best to still go back to your doctor, and it does not guarantee a smooth pregnancy because every pregnancy is different, and it's important for women to receive appropriate care and support to ensure the best possible outcome for themselves and their babies.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
Okay, that's correct. So in the event of any pregnancy complications, which I think most moms will try to avoid, a prenatal insurance plan can help to cover the cost of necessary medical care and treatments. And that will basically provide some financial assistance and ensure that mommy and baby receive the best care and support. With PRUMy Child Plus, mummies can be assured of being protected throughout their pregnancy, as they will be covered for 9 pregnancy complications as well as emergency C-section for early delivery before 36 weeks. Okay, so we're jumping into our last myth for today.
Sure.
Okay, so the last myth is all mothers are blissful and happy after childbirth.
Childbirth is a tedious process. After giving birth, it's a labor, so you need to go through long hours of pushing. It's physically tiring. Then you have a newborn, and when the baby cries, you need to be feeding babies. Then you're tired. So for the first few days, postpartum blues is very common, especially the first 2 to 5 days, perhaps. And subsequently, you might get mothers who get into postpartum depression.
Yeah.
So these are the period where the mom needs to be well observed and well taken care of, and that's when your doctors or your carers come into play.
Your partners, right?
Partners partner is very important. So all the daddies out there, you need to keep an eye on your wife. It's not as easy.
So that being said, we must remember that every woman's experience of motherhood is very different, and there is no right way to feel after giving birth. So it's okay to feel angry or sad or emotional, in fact, and seeking support can really help new mothers navigate the challenges and joys of motherhood. To ensure that your mental health and well-being is taken care of after delivery, did you know that PRUMy Child Plus also provides coverage upon diagnosis of major depressive disorder up to 1 year after birth to help mothers get adequate therapy should the unexpected happen? Thank you, doctor. These myths are certainly something that a lot of pregnancy moms are talking about, and it's definitely interesting.
Yes, it is.
So it's not uncommon for us mummies to worry about pregnancy myths, especially if they come from cultures or traditions where these beliefs are deeply rooted. However, it's important to remember that many of these myths are not based on scientific evidence and may be more harmful than helpful. If you're worried about specific myths, do speak with your doctor. Your doctor can provide you with accurate information and help you make informed decisions about your health and the health of your developing baby. The best thing you can do for you and your baby is to get prenatal coverage from the early stages of pregnancy to ensure complete protection from the unforeseen. Prudential believes that new mamas deserve the right support during childbirth. That's why PRUMy Child Plus is designed for all moms and babies out there, providing comprehensive protection starting from 13 weeks of pregnancy and continues to cover your child until the age of 100. To learn more about how you and your baby can get protected with PRUMy Child Plus or to schedule an appointment with a Prudential Wealth Planner, please visit the link below. Remember, pregnancy is a time of joy and anticipation, so you should always focus on positive thoughts and actions instead of myths and old wives' tales. We hope our moms-to-be have enjoyed our episode today. Don't forget to take part in our contest to win an exclusive Motherhood Wellness gift box worth 100 ringgit and Prudential Kids Combo Set. Stay tuned for our next episode where we will be sharing more tips to support your pregnancy journey. Thanks for tuning in, and if you find this to be helpful, do share it across your friends and family.